What's the Not Your Finest Hour podcast? What is that all? I mean, I've heard stories.
Not Our Finest Hour podcast. I'll have to check out one of these days when I get a minute to listen to it. I've been told it's not for everyone. Just the general reviews I hear on it. It has been getting really good reviews.
And I've never personally listened to it, but I have heard it's not for everyone.
I listened to the Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Just great podcast. I've really enjoyed that.
I'm not endorsing anything. But what Caleb told me, he said, don't endorse anything unless you listen to it first.
I do once in a while listen in, and it's a lot of fun. But I do got to be careful. It is not for everyone.
Caleb Allman is always dropping notes that it's one of the most value-added shows out there.
Of course, through all the Not Our Finest Hour, you guys poking fun at so much different stuff is absolutely killer.
I don't feel any oppression tonight. In fact, I feel very free. Not Our Finest Hour podcast. Thanks for being here.
I'm Interlock Ian, and I wouldn't fucking miss the Not Our Finest Hour podcast for nothing.
Oh shit, Mike fucked something up.
I just recorded to the cloud. I don't know what that does.
Well, I don't want to be talking for 2 hours and have it erased.
Should we start again? Send out a new link.
Okay, we're on the computer now. We're good.
We're good. So we already recorded something, but then we realized Mike put it on the cloud. We didn't know how that affected it. So Mike said, fuck this. And we shut it down. And now we're starting again. So the first part of it is lost in the cloud, whatever that is. It was nothing very exciting anyways. It was just us realizing that we were getting lost in the cloud. Did you guys watch that story that I asked you to watch?
The one about the flying pool?
Well, the problem with that is if you look at that video, it's Bloomfield's trucks and equipment, and Joe that owns Bloomfield's is in the end of the video, but it's being posted under an account called Drift Pools.
So
that's why the guy stole the video and pretended it was his. The guy stole that's why I posted on my thing asking him if I should invoice him for it.
You see that happened to Richard Carroll too, of RC Outdoor?
Yeah.
He has a billboard in Vancouver or something like that, eh?
Yeah. But I think 2/3 of the pictures on that Drift Pools account belong to Joe from Bloomfield's.
So was there a confrontation? Did he call the guy? Hey.
He's blocked.
Oh, but the rest of us aren't?
No, but someone else saw it and sent it to him.
Yeah.
And then he messaged me and said, what do you do about stuff like this? I said, I don't know. I try to put that spinning crown in my videos or my logo, because then people can't chop them or whatever. The other thing is, if you don't want people to overlay your voice, like those guys stole your voice out of your video about the list.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't mind.
I know, but I'm saying there might be something you say that you don't want broadcast on other people's accounts.
Then I shouldn't have a podcast. I think everything that I say is fair game. There's enough AI of my voice out there to really incriminate me.
Oh, yeah. I'm just saying that if someone is nervous about that, what you do is you put a track under it.
Oh, okay.
Like, so if you add music to any video and then just turn the volume of the music to 1, then that becomes the dominant feature. And if someone tries to steal it, all they'll get is the music. They'll never get your voice.
Gotcha.
Because the music is trademarked.
I learn something new every day.
Yeah. Well, I'm just providing all kinds of fucking value here.
So what happens now that obviously, so the guy's banned from seeing the pool guy, the thief pool guys?
I don't know. I commented on it too. I'll probably get blocked next, I'm sure.
That's sleazy. That's happened to me too. People have stolen my photos and put them on their Instagram page and their Facebook page and stuff, and I've called them out before. And my marketer put them on there, or if they're free domain now. Like, fuck off! It's still my job.
Yeah.
It's misleading.
Being someone who steals a lot of other people's shit and reposts it on the internet, I don't know how mad I can get.
Do you claim it's yours though? Would you mislead people into thinking that you can do that for them?
That's not the kind of stuff I steal.
On the
Do
same
you-
topic, what do you guys think about how to hardscape reposting other people's work?
Yeah, but don't you do that with permission?
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you ask
I
people
think you
before you
give them
post it?
credit.
I don't ask everybody. No,
Do you give them credit?
always, always the first tag in the caption is there.
Do you try to sell pools with their stuff?
No.
So I think that that's a different thing.
Okay. So there's a
Yeah.
line somewhere.
You could make an argument that I'm just taking people's videos and cutting them and then screaming at them about whatever they posted. So when you post a reel now, it actually comes up and says this reel, because you can block people from sharing your reel or splicing your reel or whatever the fuck they call that. You can block people from that.
Hmm.
So it's a like if you go into settings when you put a reel up, because whenever you share a reel now, it'll come up and say this reel is shareable. So if you don't want that to happen, there's a setting that you click and then it won't happen.
Hmm.
Which some of the funniest reels I've found to cut and make ads out of are all unshareable.
Hmm.
So then you would need to screen record it and then put it back on. But then if you do that, I don't know where you lie with that because someone's already made it unshareable and then you went through a loophole and shared it. So yeah, I don't represent other people's work as ours. I don't think I ever have.
Would you ever put a Paper King billboard with someone else's job on it?
Probably not. No.
Yeah.
We had
That's
some, we had some stuff that was in catalogs and stuff, and people would share it, and people would be like, "Oh, that stuff was in catalogs," and I was like, "Well, like the picture is like it's our job, but Techoblock took the fucking picture, or Bestway, or fucking Unilock. Like we were in all three of those catalogs at different times, sometimes in the same year. Like if they post the picture on their website and people are cropping the picture down from that website, well, that the whole point of the picture was to promote the pavers, not promote me. It's not a picture that I took. So I was always like, yeah, I don't care. We did one job where there was like a hole in it with river rock and a fountain in the middle of the patio.
Oh yeah.
And like everyone loved, I hated it from the beginning. I hated the fucking design. I hated everything about it. Nancy loved it. The fucking homeowner loved it. And like 7 years later, people were saying, hey, your job, someone just reposted it. Like again, those are Blocks photos. They're the ones that went and photographed that horrible fucking job. I mean, the job is beautifully done. The workmanship is amazing. The materials are great, but it's got a big fucking hole in the middle of the patio with a river rock and a fountain coming out of it.
The guy in my city built that same job, like mimicked that same job.
Oh, really?
He's bankrupt now. Yeah.
No,
Probably not because of that job, but he's bankrupt.
I don't think I made any money doing it either. It was that was a job where I would call every day and ask the foreman, is it a tape measure day or a phone day? Because we had done a 3D drawing of that job and she would be like, oh, in the 3D, the column has 7 layers, but in reality, it has 8. Like, yeah, that was the actual height. Like, that's how it worked out. Like, that was before you could use your zip level and transfer the heights. So it was just kind of like randomly made up. Like, it's giving you an idea, but it's not ultra specific. So,
Yeah. Ooh.
yeah, that was a long job.
Do you think so? A lot of the catalogs now, and I still haven't gotten my box of Block Techo catalogs for the season, which is not great because I'm doing estimates now, and I'd like to be able to give them a catalog. I have no goddamn catalog.
Don't you have to go to the Block Techo event to get your box catalog?
I don't think they're that holy that I have to go there, but I have to go to my retailer at least, and they're not open for the season yet.
When do they
So
open?
I don't know. They were in Monday for an hour or something like that. But
What if
I
you were
think
doing something right now?
What do you mean?
Like, say you had a job.
Well, then I'm out of luck. Or there's a website, I guess, that you can go to. But
Like, what are you gonna do? Call if you need a load of gravel and your trucks don't run. So what are you gonna do? Like, call Paver King
I can get, well, what do you mean? How can I not get gravel?
from the supplier?
The supplier is the quarry.
Oh, well, I'm just using it as an example. If you needed something and their supplier's closed, that sucks. You think they'd be
Well,
open?
they wouldn't be closed if the majority of landscapers were working now. But there's still
Mm.
snow on the ground here.
I
It's
don't know that the majority of landscapers are working here. I think that we're in the minority and we're doing an excavation. We're not doing
yeah.
landscaping.
So
Like, we're
when
excavating for a cabana.
yeah, when it's time for pavers to start going down, the retailer will open up.
Mm.
So, but I don't have a box of catalogs to give people right now. But I'm noticing a lot of the pictures in these catalogs are not jobs that are done anymore, right? Are they not 3D renders that are so good that they look like actual jobs now? Is that a thing? Like, do you
I
think
don't,
that affects people's expectations?
you're saying they're over edited or
Uh,
they're just
I
not
don't
even real to begin with.
like, I haven't flipped through the catalog, but a lot of pictures that I'm seeing, promo pictures and stuff of new materials and all that are 3D renders. They're not actual installs.
Well, maybe because it's new product.
Well, absolutely, because it's new product and they have nothing to show. But do you feel like that affects clients' expectations?
What would you want them to do differently?
Um, Put it out to a couple great contractors the year before, maybe?
What if it
And
doesn't
say,
exist the year
what can you
before?
do with that? Well,
Still in. So you're saying you would prefer a delay in,
I don't know. I'm not logistics and marketing and all this shit. I understand they have to do something, right? But do we go back to that problem where there's a tape measure day or a telephone day? Because the client expects what they see in the catalog and the materials don't.
I I think that's always been a problem though.
So it's not worse by having 3D renders.
It could be well, maybe the material is being used in a way that the material could never be used, then that would be a problem,
That would be a problem.
right?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I
I think there's always, what I've said to all different manufacturers and different things is like you you pack it, you promote it like a Cadillac, you package it like a Cadillac, and when it's all unwrapped, you've delivered a Chevy.
but it's up to the contractor to put it back into a Cadillac, isn't it?
Well, but I'm saying if the product is a Chevy, I don't care how good a contractor you are. If something's covered in efflow and completely pitted and has tons of exposed aggregate and fucking edges that weren't in the press properly, I don't give a shit how good a contractor you are. The stuff's just junk.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm referring to.
Gotcha.
I understand that when the product gets delivered, it's never going to be as like, and the contract, it's up to the contractor to cut it in and make it look good. I agree with you, but I'm saying when you receive pallets that are, when someone buys I mean, maybe not nowadays, but let's, as a reference, say someone buys a Mercedes, they're expecting the trunk to be a 1/4 inch gap on each side,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When someone buys
Call it a
no, like when someone buys I don't know, I'm trying to be mean to any vehicles, but when someone, I don't know, buys a Hyundai Sonata and it's a 1/4 inch on one side and a 1/2 inch on the other and it's not perfect, that person seems less likely to notice. They might just be happy to have a fucking car. So the problem with the fancy pictures and all the stuff is that you're promoting a Cadillac Mercedes-Benz, whatever lifestyle. But when the stuff arrives and it's not perfect, and you're wrapping it and labeling it, and all this stuff is going on, and when the stuff arrives, you're delivering this much lesser than expected product when it gets unwrapped.
I think that's definitely the case for any wet cast product that shows up because it looks beautiful anywhere but installed and weathered on a site.
Yeah.
Like even 2-year-old stuff, you're like, meh, maybe I should have went with a dry cast wall here,
Yeah.
you know, which is why I'm scared to use more products like Mika and stuff like that. I don't know how they look after a couple years.
I think Mika is factory sealed now.
How long does that last?
Well, they said it's not.
It's a beautiful product.
Yeah, I
They
love
said,
it. It looks good.
they said it's not sealing; it's protectant. Remember, Mike?
Right.
Don't refer to it as sealant. You refer to it as protectant. Because when it's referred to as sealant, there's an expectation of it to, like, if it wears out. Whereas
Is a
if you
film
say,
forming or whatever.
yeah, I don't, yeah.
Well, you
so
listen better than me, PK.
Okay, well, give myself that then.
Because the only time that we've really seen weathered wet cast that I'm aware of is caps, right? Like they were doing wet cast caps for 10 years or whatever. They've been doing wet cast pavers for 3 or 4.
Well, all those Unilog pavers like Copthorne, so they're all wet cast.
Yeah, I suppose.
Ridgecliff,
I don't
they've been
know.
making those pavers for 20 years.
And how do those look? Like I don't have experience with those. I've had one Unilock job in my entire career and I haven't been back to see. That's as old as my daughter, so 7 years old now.
I think the wet cast pavers look good after they're.
Really.
I wouldn't never be nervous putting down wet cast paver. Well, other like pavers, it seems to work well. The whole wet cast thing, it seems to work pretty well. When you start expanding into large slabs, like we did one with 30 by 30 slabs,
Ooh.
and like they were so twisted that you can't get them like one
Was that at
corner
Aberdeen?
no, it was that fucking job we just talked about with the fucking patio with the hole in it. It was Travertina.
Oh, I've used
What
that.
it was Ivory Travertina. But the 30 by 30, like because it's a wet cast mold, the slab itself is twisted slightly out of. No, this is the slabs from 10 years ago. So I don't fucking know what they're like now. I haven't installed it recently. So with a grain of salt, this is from 10 fucking years ago. But like because it's a rubber mold and that's how you get such a intricate texture that looks so good, the rubber mold twists a bit and one corner of the thing is level with the other two sides that you're matching, and the other corner is up a quarter of an inch. But you can't change it because the slab is twisted. You know what I'm like? And you can't grind it.
I had that with one piece of porcelain on a patio this past year. Yeah.
I had not one flaw in a piece of porcelain tile in 4,000 square feet.
Nice.
I think, anyway. If there was a flaw, we blamed it on the base.
I've done a quarter of it and of what you've done. And there was just one piece that I couldn't figure out. And then I looked at it and it seemed off.
I'll take that.
What about face mix? What's the oldest project you guys done in face mix and what does it look like?
Oh, I don't know, like 20 years ago, some commercial shit. I don't know. When they brought it, that stuff looks good for a long time.
Yeah. What product 20 years ago had a face mix?
I don't know, like the one that's brushed.
Oh, I like that one. That Unilock one there.
Yeah. It used to be called El Campo. I don't know if it still is.
I like that stuff.
Had like a brush mix. If you in like that's face. I mean, I don't know how old Umbriano is. It's got to be like 10, 15 years.
Okay.
They've been making it for a long time. It's a face mix product.
Hmm.
Like there's a million, like a face mix has been around in their products for a long time. Like super long. I don't know. You could probably Google it and it would say. I'll bet it comes up. How old is Unilock face? I think that the patent ran out on it, and that's why all of a sudden everybody had face mix. So
See, when I worked for a supplier, we never stocked Unilock because Unilock
you,
was in competition with.
What would you consider, PK? What was that paver that absolutely shit the bed whenever you worked for Confirm?
I know exactly which one
That
it
whole
is.
system. What
Can I
was that?
say
What
it?
type of paver was that?
oh, I don't care. I say it. I can't remember what it was. I spent hundreds of hours dealing with that problem. What was
Was
the fuck was it called?
Provence.
Provence. Yeah, it
Oh,
was like a 3D printing system that printed on the pavers, and then
I remember when that came out.
laminated.
Yeah.
it delaminated. Yeah, that was. I think that was one of the things that it was just such a hard thing to deal with because people had spent a lot of time convincing people to buy it, like contractors. It's a lot of work to get anyone to buy a new product. Even, when face mix came out and it first came out and the pavers were so expensive, it was hard to convince people to buy it because it was expensive and different. Well, some people had spent all this time and effort to convince people to buy this stuff, and then it delaminated, and then they were redoing patios everywhere, which I mean, good on them. They stood behind the product and they did something about it. Like they addressed it. But as the rep, I spent a lot of time addressing that problem.
Hmm.
And it was hard. It was just mentally tough to do because the homeowners are mad. And then there was homeowners that had it and the contractor had like gone bankrupt and
Ooh,
disappeared or was a fly by night person. And then you're dealing direct with the homeowner.
that's probably even worse.
Sometimes better because at least there's only one fucking person, and you didn't have to deal with the contractor because if you were trying to get it repaired, you would have to deal with a contractor like, and then they would be repairing their own job, and it was a really hard thing. Sure, it sucked for whoever approved it and sent it out to market at the company.
I bet.
Sure, it blew fat wad for them. I
They had
was on
a,
the I was on the ass end of that. Like
they had a really cool color called Valcour Brown. I can find only one PDF on it from a supplier.
scrubbed from the internet.
Scrubbed from the internet. Yeah.
There was a wall of it. The second year I was
Oh,
there,
really?
they brought it out in a vertical wall. Yeah,
Wow.
I left before that hit the market.
They said the pavers and slabs were such a hit, let's put it in a wall. The next year after the problems were already happening.
Well, you were around when they brought the wall out. I'm sure you saw it.
Only in images, not
I,
3D renders, probably.
not 3D renders.
I actually don't remember the wall at all. I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
we had a like a this in one of the plants. We had a like a showroom where you could bring contractors and go through a whole routine with them. I actually really liked it. I liked doing that part of it. That was fun, and it had the wall, or maybe the wall was at the elevation event. I don't. I just remember putting the wall together and thinking to myself, man, like lifting and redoing a patio is one thing, right? That's one thing to do that. And tearing down retaining walls,
Yeah, that's a different.
you're on another level of like,
Yeah.
just pain. And
Yeah.
that product, I think, was, I would say, at least 60% of the reason that drove me to say, this is not for me.
Yeah, that's a baptism by fire being thrown into that.
Yeah. I think I didn't, there's a bunch of stuff that happened that when I started, I think that I just started at a tough time there. I think it was a hard time. And that was one of the main problems, I think, was that product because like on one side you're doing repairs and working your way through that, and on the other side you're trying to get people to buy it
And hoping it doesn't shit the bed again
and hoping it
while
doesn't
they're buying it.
while they're and then you have pallets of it at retailers you're trying to get back, and it was hard,
How soon did it start to delaminate?
like immediately.
Wow.
I remember I got invited to the event where they did the grand opening of that, and I couldn't go. And it was like downtown, like super fancy. And Nancy Green got invited, and she went with Joe Bailey, and they went down together and saw it and checked it out. And then somehow, like the next year, I ended up, and then I think there was a year of installing it, and then I think the next year, that's when I started there. It also had really thin joints, and it was easy to like. It was easy to to damage it. Like if a table slid, it was also insanely slippery, and it like if you turned too quickly and didn't have it strapped, the skids would break in half and
Oh,
like slide all over the place. And yeah, it was wild stuff because it was so well sealed to hold that color. Because there was a second one of that stuff called Madria slab,
hmm.
and they were like 24 by they were like 12 by 24 slabs, and they had like a wood grain on them.
That's
And
right. Yeah.
it was it was it was somewhat popular because that's when like the Borealis first came out. But it was slip that stuff was like because the Provence had a finish on it, right? And the Borealis had but Madria was smooth, sealed smooth, and it was slippery.
Hmm.
I just yeah.
For for as big of a company as Block Deco is, they don't have the nicest wood grain paver or slab.
You don't think Borealis is the nicest?
I really
Best
like
Way?
Best Ways.
Best Way has a phenomenal looking
Yeah.
full wood slab, like unbelievably nice. Like if I were into
I've used
that
it.
style, and they don't pay me to say this, but it is beautiful.
Well, no one pays you to say anything here.
I know. Well, that's not true. But
Here,
here, no one pays me to say anything.
I'm not saying
Correct.
on the internet. I'm saying here.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe Grib hopes that you'll bring them up on here.
Um, I'm not sure. We've never had that discussion. Although they are thinking about extending my partnership with them.
Obviously, you've done so much for them.
I only got
Was
I
it just a
only got
1
my
year?
tilt rotator. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
And I only got my tilt rotator in what, November, October, November? You know, there's still lots of time. So
They're going to extend that partnership.
be happy to do it. Yeah.
I mean, you posted at least 4 videos.
I can't make content in winter.
You got to be able to make content anytime.
backlog.
Yeah, I'll go into my yard and start ripping out trees like Andy Mulder. Like I can do that.
That's when you got to like make content that isn't about doing something. You have to make content about making fun of things, or like you could have made a splice video where you were like of someone doing something and be like, well, I could have done that with my tilt rotator.
Yeah,
Rib.
you're full of ideas.
I
could
am,
I
but they're
could
not
tap
interested in
I
me
could
at all.
tap
So
uh your
they're
brain.
not remotely interested in helping me.
Well,
Fuckers. Whatever. Extending your deal. I'm just
we'll get you whenever we get that collaborative job together, we'll feed you a pickle through the gripper of
Oh, that's
sure.
good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's perfect. Like,
yeah.
can you get the lid off this jar of pickles. There's just so much content you can make with those things.
Yeah.
If I had one, I can't even fathom the content I could make with it.
Yeah.
But I just,
You hold the jar of pickles still and have the gripper do the moving?
yeah.
Peel it off, yeah.
So I had a new experience. We went on vacation and I was really sick.
Oh,
I've never been sick
probably
on
because you
vacation
drank that
before.
fucking juice there.
That juice was gross.
That juice that no one buys, that's what made you sick.
What juice was that?
It was coconut milk with chunks of tapioca in it, flavored like melon. Did you see that drink?
I remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was. I had brought some stuff home because I bought some other stuff in the store. When I was having a good time, I was crushing content out, and then I just got violently ill.
Yikes.
So I was ill at night, and then I was violently ill for a whole day, and I never left our condo that we had. And then I was the next day. We got there on Wednesday. I was okay, but when I was sleeping Wednesday night, I was like fucking freezing, like to the point of shivering and like searching through this Airbnb condo for a blanket, which I've never done any kind of Airbnb stuff before. And I'm like, these people are like bare minimalists. There's nothing in these motherfuckers.
Chad has experience with that in H.
Yeah.
It was so cold in that room.
That was brutal.
My God. My God. So I turned the heat up to the max. And
I
then the
was
next
sweating
night
my
it was
butts off.
frying in there. Okay, keep going with your
No,
story.
I saw it like I've never Airbnb'd before. I didn't like there was one sheet. You better like that sheet, bitch. There's no way you're getting two. And there was a blanket. And at home, Kelly sleeps with her blanket because she likes a certain thickness of blanket, and I sleep with my blanket. So I like a certain thickness of blanket. So on the first night, I thought, you take the heavier blanket because she's usually cold and I'm usually hot. I said, I'll take this super thin sheet. I was like literally shivering and shaking with this sheet all night, partially because I think I was really ill and didn't know the first night. And then I was okay during the day the first day. I kind of fumbled my way through it and feel amazing, but it was okay. We went to the beach but then that night after we went out for dinner, I was like really ill. And then I was really ill for like 36 hours or something. I didn't leave the room. And then on the Saturday, we went to Kelly and I just hung out at the pool, which you could see our condo from. So if there was an issue, it was close. We didn't go far. I spent most of the time because I'm obviously I have a crazy story from the plane. So can you guys please remind me? Because it is the craziest shit. Like people always say to me, I don't know how all this stuff happens to you. And while this was happening to me, I was like, this is the craziest shit. This is happening to me. I should make a video of this and post it because this is fucked up. This shit that's happening right now. So anyways, we didn't really leave the condo. So I felt better. I don't remember what that story was going because I got distracted by this insane plane story. So we're sitting in the Callie always gets so the whole time I spent this trip after I got sick, really worried because I'm a big person. I'm not thin, and I don't think I'm super tall, but I'm like 6 feet tall, and I have arthritis through my entire body, and I can barely tie my own shoes, and I can't close my hands very much anymore because of the carpal tunnel syndrome. Like I'm really fucked up. So like getting into a bathroom and trying to convert myself to actually sit on the bathroom in an airplane is a horrifying thought. And I was like, I need to be at least good enough that I can get on the plane. So my anxiety level from this was crazy because I was like, I am not a functioning person anymore when it comes to physically moving around. Well, you guys have spent time with me. I'm a hurting unit. People are always like, oh, you're limping. Yeah, for like 12 years. Yeah, I'm limping. Fucking right I am. Anyways, I was fine on the plane. So by the time we got to the plane, because then I made a decision. I'm just not really going to eat any food moving forward on this trip. Because at some point, my stomach will be empty. And if I don't eat or drink anything, I know I'll be okay to get home on the plane. But then I think I started to get dehydrated and kind of delusional because it's hot there. I was probably sweating more than average. So I started drinking. Anyways, made it home. I'm safe. There was no tragedy on the plane. So Kelly always gets the exit row seats because it gives you that little bit more room to stretch out and move around, because she also likes to move around a lot. So when we sat down, we had the aisle seat and the middle seat, and there was an empty seat against the window. And this woman came who was a larger woman with blonde hair that was half dyed pink, traveling alone, and said, "Oh, I'm sitting there." And Kelly said to me, "Do you want to switch seats?" But Kelly gets up a lot to go to the bathroom. So I said, "No, I'll just stay in the middle seat because I don't want to get up 1,000 times while you go to the fucking bathroom on this airplane for the next 5 hours." The woman got in, sat down, looked at me and said, "If we open this door, I need you to know that I'm going to do nothing to save you. I am out the door and I am gone. I don't care if everyone else on this plane dies. I just need to get out this door and save myself. That's my only priority." I said, "Cool, whatever, you do you." Like, if the plane's flipping over, I don't think I'm going to care. And I also personally, I didn't say this to her because I'm a decent person, but I also personally don't think you'll fit out the door. So I think we have bigger problem here than that, but whatever. So then she says to me, I'm trying to ignore her, and she says, "Where were you?" I said, "Oh, we were staying in Sosua at a, Airbnb condo." She's like, "Oh, I watched documentary. There's a lot of child prostitution in Sosua." I said, "Okay, cool, I guess." She's like, "Well, did you see any child prostitution?" I said, "No." It's kind of an awkward conversation, but yeah, like, no, I didn't. She's like, "Well, did you see any prostitution?" I said, "Yeah, it's like legal or something there. So yeah, there's like some prostitution." "Well, did you see children?" I went, "No, again, no." Like and she's like, "Well, I think there's a lot on the documentary. It says there's a lot of child prostitution." I said, "Okay, could be. Probably not happening on the open street corner, lady." Like I said, that kind of stuff probably takes place on the internet in prearranged like appointments, or maybe in a back alley. But like in Dominican, in a town, I don't venture into the back alleys because I'm fat and slow and white. Like, I don't go into the back alleys of the Dominican Republic towns. Certainly asking people that only speak Spanish, "Do you have some kids that I can buy?" Like, what? Like, I said, "No, I don't know anything about this." And then she said, "Well, I think maybe you were here for prostitute. Like, if I saw you with a child prostitute, I would just stop it immediately. You better be warned if I ever see you with child prostitutes." And I'm like, "Listen, lady,
You're about to go out that door."
I'm like, I am not involved in any. Well, did anyone speak to you when you were on the street? And I said, "Yeah, a couple guys like came over to me." She said, "Well, what did you do?" I said, "Well, they speak Spanish. So first thing I did was not understand anything they said to me." I said, "Secondly, I told them no, thank you," because they were either probably trying to get me to fuck prostitutes or sell me drugs. And neither of those things I have any interest in a foreign country. I'm not interested in them in my own country. I'm certainly not interested in going to some jail in Dominican as a fat, slow, unathletic white person. None of that appeals to me. And she said, "Well, you should have maybe looked into it so you could have done something about it." Like, like, it, like, how many planes have you been on, Chad?
10 maybe.
Has anyone ever accused you of going somewhere?
Like a sex trip. With
Yeah.
children. Never.
I was with my wife. Like, what do you think? We're having like threesomes in the back alley? the fuck is going? Like, why do I like?
Unreal.
It was crazy, and it got uncomfortable. But I'm like, I have to be beside this person for 5 hours, and I don't want to create too big of a ruckus because she was getting really upset, like thinking that I starting to raise her voice, and I'm like, I don't want to like.
Was she drunk?
No, I don't know. Maybe I tried to like. I don't think so. I think she was just crazy. She was traveling alone. We concluded that,
Hmm.
and who knows why a larger white woman would travel to an island in the Dominican by herself. Why would that happen? We don't know.
Was this on the resort?
No, there's no. We didn't go on a resort. We weren't at a
Okay.
resort. We were at an Airbnb
Where was this then?
on the plane
Oh, on the plane.
in the seat
I think this
coming home.
stewardesses would have been happy to move this woman. If
I
she
was trying to
having
contain
a
it because I'm like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like, I'm sick. I don't want to get thrown off this plane because this woman is yelling at me about being a child, like searching out child prostitution because
Yeah,
she saw a documentary. And as this was all happening to me, I'm like, I bet this would never happen to anyone else on an airplane.
probably not.
You know what my conclusion with all of this was? For an extra $500, Kelly and I could have sat in the row of seats where there's only two.
Yeah.
And it's only it's $500 to fill our fucking truck with fuel.
Yeah.
I'm never sitting beside people like that again. Like I knew as soon as I saw you with your fucking half grown out pink hair that you were going to be a problem.
Did she give you her pronouns before she introduced herself?
No, she didn't give me her name. She just said, I'm not. She literally sat down and looked at me and said, when I pull this door, I'm gone and I'm not helping you in any way. So know that now. That's the first thing she said. She didn't even, she just literally sat down in a big kerfluffle, took up a third of my seat, and then looked at me and said, I am no way going to save you. I'm going to watch you burn from outside the plane. Then when I said where we were staying, that's when she launched into the whole thing about there's a lot of child prostitution there. I said, great. That's not like a circle I travel in. I don't know about that. Like, like I didn't see that. I've never seen it.
Do you think maybe she had also heard that there was another landscaper who was a sex offender
Potentially.
and that potentially there was more than one?
She didn't know I was a landscaper.
You didn't have that.
To her, I was just a fat white guy.
Favor King doesn't help on the plane.
Not the solution on the plane.
Favor King doesn't get helped on the plane. He's left to die. Like, even if you sit down and you're in control of the door and your plan is to leave everyone else to die, to get out and get clear and just let everyone else die, all you care about is saving yourself. Let's say that is your plan when you sit down in the plane. Would you turn to the person next to you you're going to sit beside for 4.5 hours and tell them that? Would you just keep that plan to yourself?
She should have kept a lot of things to herself on that flight that she did, you know?
And at the end, and then she started watching that Moana.
Oh,
like
an adult. She was an adult, was she?
Traveling by herself.
Yeah.
Watching Moana with her pink hair. Like, maybe you're into child prostitution because I'm watching Planet of the Apes. And I don't have any pink hair. I'm coming down here for more of the bestiality. Okay? Like, that's why I'm watching Planet of the fucking Apes. All right? Like, fucking. Like, why? I always end up with these weird fucking psycho people and these strange experiences.
Yeah, that's
Like,
something else.
it was a crazy experience. Why is this happening to me? Do I do something to deserve this? Maybe I do.
If she went in with the mindset that she was going to be first one out anyway, you don't want her fiddling around to try and help. This is not the type of person that should help. So she would have done herself a favor by getting away, done everyone a favor by getting away faster.
I know now, whatever those 2 seats cost, it's cheaper than being screamed at for getting child prostitutes that you never got or had any interest in. I wasn't even traveling alone. If I was traveling alone, you know, maybe it's a better accusation. I'm sitting with my wife who hung me out to dry and just laughed her ass off because she had actually asked me if I wanted her to sit in that chair when we both saw that woman. Because Kelly's been around me long enough to know that some shit's probably going to go down when a pink-haired woman is like half pink-haired woman is wandering into the seat. She literally said, "Sure you don't want me to sit there?" I'm like, "Ah, it's cool." It wasn't cool. It was
She
fucked.
said, "Hey, your hair matches the underglow on one of my trucks."
Oh, God. I didn't want to know anything about me. Like, I don't need you making online accusations or something about this. Like, I saw a documentary. I'm like, well, I wasn't in it that I know of.
You know that for sure.
Fairly confident I wasn't in the documentary.
Wonder if there was
Whatever.
another landscaper in that documentary. That's maybe why she.
Oh, a
Maybe there is.
Spanish-speaking one, perhaps?
That have you guys upgraded your iPhones? You guys upgraded your iPhones with all this AI shit? Like, it's so fucked.
So
It changes.
it summarizes your messages and it gets them wrong sometimes.
Yeah, this was like, and yeah, summarizing these things poorly.
I've freaked out because it's like someone asked me about a bill that they had due, and it's like, you owe a bill for $8,000. I'm like, what the fuck? Then I open the message and it's like, how can I pay this bill for $8,000 or whatever, you know?
Is this on text messages?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I
And it does
haven't
it for
updated it.
emails too, and it gets it wrong a lot. So, mm.
It yeah, because it just like this guy Tim is trying to order a bin for next Monday, and he's saying like the thing's coming up and it's summarizing it saying what he's typing, and it says Tim has an MT on site. I'm like, why is this guy talking in the third person about his MT? Like, the fuck, Tim? Like, you don't need to tell me you're Tim. You're going to be on site. You don't need to then type Tim has an MT on site. Like, thanks, Tim. What do you like? What the fuck? But then when I opened the message, Tim never said any of that shit.
Yeah.
It just made it up. Like, what the? I wonder. Like, my text messages are now disinformation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I can't even count on my own text messages. Apple is now disinformationing my text messages.
It requires 11 gigabytes of room on my phone to install. That's why it hasn't installed it.
Can I delete
11
it?
gigabytes is a lot.
How big's your phone though?
I think it's like 64.
You're the most technologically savvy of any of us. And you probably have the smallest capacity iPhone.
Well, it just goes all to the cloud, like all the videos and photos. That's the probably the most on my phone.
You don't think you should have some more meat in there? More hard drive
No,
space? No?
no, because then I'd be having the same problem that you guys are having.
Well, I'm not having a lack of memory problem.
But
But
he
you're
doesn't
having
have the AI.
you're having the AI problem.
This iPhone 15 is perhaps like I've had iPhones since they had the smallest ones. It's the shittiest phone I've ever owned. It is a pile of garbage.
Um,
It's terrible phone. It
Have
drops
you ever,
calls. It never works half the time. Like it's fucking awful phone.
but have you ever had an Android? Because they're worse.
No, I'm saying my iPhone 13 was a superior phone to this. Like
Oh,
way better. Like I'm not saying I want an Android. I'm saying that, and I know people who have an iPhone 16 and say it's amazing. It's a great phone. But everyone I know that has a 15 says they're fucking garbage. But
I have a, it's just okay. It's the same.
I only ended up with this piece of shit because that was when my phone got stolen slash lost. I like to think of that phone as stolen now because it makes me feel better about myself as a person. Someone mean stole my phone. I didn't just leave it behind, which is actually what happened. But I'm gonna disinformation AI Apple text myself that I fucking got the phone stolen.
One time we took my kid to some like arcade, and we were leaving the parking lot, and I told my wife, "Hey, get out of the car." And someone dropped their phone in the parking lot, and she got out and found three cell phones in the parking lot of this play place. A couple of them, they were like smashed and stuff, but brought them into the arcade. Be like, "Hey, if someone lost their phone, here's a bunch of them."
A whole bunch of smashed phones.
Yeah. It was
Fuck.
right near the IKEA. Maybe they were loading their boxes or something, and
The
or
Swedish were pissed because Nokia went down. The Swedish were hammering people right, left, and center. So we
hmm,
started our job today. So it was like our official first day of the season, I guess.
wow,
Yeah. So
that's nice.
our excavator is in um, pieces in Brad's shop, getting the water pump done. Our little baby excavator, and so I was talking to Jordan from DPR, and he's like, "Yeah, you can go get ours," but they haven't done their spring service yet, and it had been sitting for I don't know, like 3 months since the winter. So when we went and got it, it needed fuel filter and check valve and a bunch of stuff, so it wasn't running. So we took it out of the backyard, and then I called my friend Rob and said, "Hey man, do you have an E20 I can borrow? I'm on my third one here. I've only dug out three fucking. We're down the list under the 30-20 now, and I've only dug out three buggies worth of fucking dirt. Like fuck."
Wow.
And I didn't get like I didn't get upset because like Jordan texted me. He's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that thing needed a spring service." I said, "Yeah, no problem, and I appreciate you letting us use it or whatever." Actually, it was the fourth excavator because Tyler Hall was going to let us borrow his too, but it was like jammed in a backyard. And he couldn't get it out because of the way that the stuff was frozen and they couldn't dig it anymore because it was, I know it's a whole thing. This is like an adventure of, so anyways, I concluded that on day one, we got something accomplished and no one got hurt and we didn't damage anything. So we're going to call it a win and move on to day two.
Yeah.
So
So you have an excavator lined up for tomorrow?
it's already on site. Billy swung in there and grabbed grabbed Rob's excavator. He got it out for us after I called him, and so we're gonna have a good fresh start tomorrow.
Midweek.
Midweek start tomorrow. Yeah.
Well, that's good. It'll be nice to have some billable time. I have zero billable hours.
Are you guys phones ringing?
Uh,
Uh,
for trucks they are, and for commercial lands. Like my phone would never ring for residential, so for
my,
com-
go ahead, sorry.
for commercial it is.
Um, my phone started kicking off. I always get to the point where I'm like, okay, I have no more referral work, and I have no one who I know who would refer me anymore. And referral work is absolutely the best residential work, right? Um,
Why wouldn't anyone refer you that you did work for last year?
well, maybe they would, but I just don't know. I had no heads up, like, oh, we did a job for someone, and then they're like, oh, my son's gonna
Mm.
need a job, like something like that, where it's in the back of your head that maybe you'd get that call or something.
Yeah, I
So,
know what you're saying.
so I had exhausted that, and yesterday I got a call. Hey, you did my parents' landscape. Can you come check out mine? And then someone called me again like 5 times, but they never left a message. Then my father-in-law texts me. He's like, "Hey, this person's trying to call you. This is their number." Like, well, fuck, they never leave a message. I never call people back without a message. Like, how do you expect people to call you back if you've never left a message for them?
Why wouldn't you just on your message say, "Don't leave a message, shoot me a text"?
Because there are older people that will confuse them. Just leave a message like a normal person, like we've been doing for the last 20 years.
I never leave a message. I haven't left a message for someone and probably I don't do that.
But whenever you call them, if you don't get a hold of them, your next step is to write them a text, right?
No. Depends
So
who they
what's
are, I
your next
guess.
step? How do you contact them if you don't leave them a message?
I just
They
move on
don't
to
know
the
who you are.
next person that provides that kind of service. I
Fine.
don't, I'm just joking. I don't know. I don't leave messages, but I guess I don't call. I guess if I was calling
Don't
someone
call
I
looking
don't,
for services.
I guess if I was calling someone that I don't usually talk to, I might leave a message. Yeah, I'm sure I've left messages.
Yeah.
If I was calling you, I wouldn't leave a message. I just fucking hang up.
Yeah, but then I'd see Mike Pennington called.
Hmm.
I better call him back. But if I see uh
Obviously, you better fucking call me back.
416-872-9456 and it has no name, I'm not going to call them back and say, "Hey, did you call my phone?"
I would, and I'd screen
Would
record it
never,
because
never.
it'd be awesome. Put it on speaker,
No.
make a video of it. Hey, did you just call my phone, bitch? What's
No.
your problem, man?
It's
I'm like,
probably some
I'm just
salesperson.
looking for a patio. Well, don't fucking call here again.
Yeah. Don't call me. How dare you call me and not leave a message? Think I want your stupid job?
I
Fuck,
like
that's
that you have this expectation that people are going to be thankful for you giving them your time.
I think they should be. I think there should be a whole lot more of that in the industry.
Um,
Thankful for someone giving you their time.
I think there
Piece
should
of
be
my
too,
life
but
wasted on someone that I'll never hear from again. That's not even considered enough to say thank you for your time. We
I hear
appreciate
you.
the quote.
It sounds like you're arguing with me, but I agree with you.
That fucking burns my arse.
I,
And
okay,
I made that post about it today. And
I
there's
know. So I
honestly
brought it up.
40 to 50 messages. Like, damn, that's right, man. You got it. I feel the same. Like, yeah, sure, a lot of us feel the same.
Landscape Daddy, a man of the people.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for. I'm not special compared to anyone else. I have the same problems that all other landscapers have.
You're just more vocal about it.
Well, I got the platform.
Well, everyone has the same platform.
Yeah,